Othniel Nathan Ennis and Tynesha Evans' lives took a devastating turn the moment a heated argument in a Wells Fargo parking lot spiraled into violence.
Okay. And do you recall shooting her?
I recall hearing the gun going off, but I don't recall, pulling the trigger or anything like that.
According to him, it all happened by accident.
And you said you loved this woman, correct?
Yeah.
You loved her enough to pull a weapon on her to scare her.
But it was his partner who would bear the devastating consequences.
I'm just at a stage of my life where I just need peace and serenity.
Just after noon on March 16th, police rushed to 21 North Main Street in Alpharetta, Atlanta, responding to multiple reports of a shooting in a Wells Fargo parking lot. Callers insisted the shooter was still on the scene.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Sir, my name is Brian Williams. We need the police at Milton Avenue and Academy Street in Alpharetta. A man just shot a woman in the parking lot at Wells Fargo Bank.
What they found was horrifying. 45-year-old Tynesha Evans laid sprawled on her back in the parking lot, arms shielding her head, blood pooling beneath her. Nearby, her on-and-off boyfriend, 64-year-old Othniel Nathan Ennis, sat motionless, a black Glock 22 lying just a short distance away on the pavement.
I got it.
What should have been a routine trip to the bank turned into a nightmare. But what exactly went wrong? Tynesha Evans and Othniel Ennis, known to most as Neil, had been locked in an on-again, off-again relationship for 2.5 years. According to Neil's statements during interrogation, they first met in 2016, while both were driving buses for the Fulton County School District. At the time of her death, Tynesha worked full-time in healthcare and was a single mother of 4, while Neil had 1 daughter of his own. Their relationship had been turbulent from the beginning, marred by repeated fights and accusations of infidelity. Police records, reports, affidavits, and news outlets reveal that Neil had filed 2 separate police reports against Tynesha over the years, though he never pursued charges.
Like I told her, I want this to be over with. It was tiring. I came here and I filed like 2 different reports already.
The first report came early in their relationship. In 2017, a disagreement between Neil and Tynesha escalated, and Tynesha allegedly began stalking him, prompting Neil to involve the police for the first time. The second report stemmed from a fight that erupted in Neil's car. After Tynesha left, Neil discovered his phone was missing. Tynesha denied taking it, but when Neil reported the phone as stolen, it later turned up on his school bus. Tynesha claimed someone had dropped it off at her house. This incident led Neil to file his second police report, just 1 month before the fatal shooting.
She started yelling and screaming and stuff, and then she called me a whore. So I pulled over to the side and I asked her to get out of my car because, in my interpretation of whore, is some person who sells their body, for money. And if I'm helping you pay your rent, I'm not a whore. I've never sold my body, never had sex with anyone for money in exchange or anything like that. So I asked her to get out of my car. And, after she got out, that's when I realized that my phone went missing. And I walked back to her because she was walking on the street on Academy Street going home, and I said, I need my phone. You have my phone? She said, no, she doesn't have it. And the funny thing is, a couple days later, the phone ends up on the school bus that I drive in a box. And she told me that someone, when she was getting out of the car, her bank book and some other documents fell, and someone brought that along with my phone and left it outside the front door. you know. So that's the scenario.
Okay.
Detectives later confirmed that Neil had indeed filed police reports against Tynesha for the reasons he stated. While Neil admitted he sometimes felt threatened by her behavior, there was no other documented history of domestic violence between them. Yet the shooting on March 16th was undeniably rooted in a domestic dispute. So what led to that tragic moment? In an interview with 95.5 WSB, Tynesha's daughters revealed that despite working full-time, their mother had faced financial struggles that year. She lived with 3 of her children and was struggling to pay rent on time. That week, Neil had agreed to help her, something he had done before, and they arranged to meet at the Wells Fargo, where he would withdraw cash for her. According to Neil, tensions had already begun to rise before they even met. He told detectives that on the morning of her death, Tynesha sent him messages claiming she had photographic evidence of him being unfaithful with another woman at a Dunkin' Donuts the day before. Neil said this wasn't the first time she had made such accusations. It had been a recurring issue throughout their 2.5-year relationship. That morning, he made the decision to end things.
Okay. And she made these accusations. So what was your feeling about that when she...
Well, I sent her a text back and I told her, I said, you know, I can't deal with this anymore. I said, you know, let's just end the relationship because I can't deal with you constantly accusing me of other women. This has been going on for a while and, you know, it makes no sense. I'm not seeing anyone.
Neil drove to the Wells Fargo and withdrew $380. He arrived before Tynesha and waited outside his car to hand her the money. When she arrived, Neil claimed an argument erupted immediately. She allegedly brought up the supposed incident with another woman again, and when he tried to get back into his car, she stepped in front of the driver's door. That's when the situation spiraled. Neil began recording the encounter on his smartphone, and in the footage obtained by police, the raw tension and anger between the couple is unmistakable.
So what, you don't have nothing to say about the picture? Do you have anything to say about the picture? I did not do nothing to you. You can take me all you want to. Like, that's bull.
You come up to me, motherfucker, and I'll knock your ass out.
You don't have nothing to say to me about the picture.
Move from off my car.
You don't have nothing to say to me about the picture.
Move from off of my car.
You don't have nothing to say to me about the picture.
Tynesha tried to snatch his phone, and in that instant, Neil reached for his gun. Just moments later, she was dead. Within minutes, multiple calls flooded the police, and one bystander even confronted Neil with their own firearm, holding him until officers arrived.
Did some person that didn't look like a cop hold a gun to you?
There was a guy in a truck. He told me, he said to get down on the ground. And he told me to kick the gun away. I asked him if he was the police, and he didn't answer me. But I just got on the ground and pushed the gun away.
Okay.
7 witnesses would later come forward, each filling statements about what they saw that day. By the time police reached the scene, Tynesha Evans was already dead. As far as the suspect was concerned, the case seemed straightforward. Neil had been found next to her body, the murder weapon just a few feet away, its surface covered in his fingerprints. Security cameras had captured the events, multiple witnesses had called the police, and one brave bystander had even physically intervened before officers arrived. Still, detectives needed every detail from Neil to piece together a full timeline of that fateful day. At the police station, Neil was led into an interrogation room. From the start, his posture and tone betrayed exhaustion and resignation. He spoke slowly, quietly, his voice occasionally trembling. It was clear, to him, the detectives, and the officer in the room, there was no way to talk his way out of this.
And who is she to you?
She was my girlfriend. We were dating.
How long have you been dating for?
About 2.5 years now.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
The detective opens by asking Neil to recount what happened that day. Over the course of the interrogation, he will ask Neil 3 separate times to confirm the events leading up to the precise moment he shot Tynesha in the Wells Fargo parking lot. This method allows the detective to catch any inconsistencies or details Neil might have missed the first time.
Today you were at the Wells Fargo? What happened?
She has issues with her rent. She has to go to court on Monday. And I went to the Wells Fargo bank to withdraw some money to give her to help pay her rent. Before I left home, she texted me and told me something about yesterday. I went over to Dunkin' Donuts and how somebody sent her a picture of me with another woman at Dunkin' Donuts, and I was kissing this woman. So I sent her back a text message and I said, you know, I'm tired of you accusing me all the time. So like 2.5 years we've been together, it's always an accusation of me with another woman. I said, I'm tired of that. I told her, you know, I'm going to give you the money. I said, but after that, you know, please don't communicate with me anymore. I said, don't respond to the text. Don't call me because I don't want to hear any excuses. I'm basically just tired. So I got ready. When I was going over to the Wells Fargo bank, she called me. I didn't answer my phone. I went to the ATM. I withdrew the money, and I was sending her a text because I told her to meet me at 11:30, and it was like 11:38. So I was texting her to tell her I'm at the bank, and then I saw her pull into the bank. So she got out of her car. I was standing by my car. She came up, and I gave her the money. And she stood between me and my car door, so I can't get inside my car. So I said to her, you know, could you please move away so I can get into my car? And then she proceeded this conversation about how, you know, and now she has a picture of the woman and, you know, stuff like that. And I was like, you know, this is nonsense. You know, I was on my phone. I was recording her standing up by my door, and then she just pulled the phone out of my hand and moved away. And I said to her, you know, can I have my phone, please? And I don't remember what she said after that. And I just reached for my phone. I didn't mean to shoot her or anything like that. I had no reason to shoot her or anything like that. And I just remember the gun going off.
Okay.
You know, and that was it. You know, I just, that was it.
Okay.
According to Neil, what unfolded in the Wells Fargo parking lot was just the latest episode in a pattern that had been building for years, particularly the behavior that had prompted him to file 2 police reports against Tynesha.
Okay. So you moved here in 2010. You said you made some reports about Tynesha before?
Yeah. One was last month, actually. We had gotten into an argument while I was taking her to the bank to get some money, and I had my cell phone and the cigarette lighter, and she called me a name, so I just pulled over and asked her to get out of my car. And when she got out, I had the headpiece on. It was connected to the phone and kept telling me out of range, out of range. I came here, I filed a report. The officer and I went back, was looking for the phone, we never found it. He went to her apartment and spoke to her. She said she didn't have it, so I reported the phone as stolen to Verizon, and I was able to get back another phone. And then prior to that, I think it was in 2017, I think, we had a disagreement, and she was actually following me. And while she was following me, I called in to dispatch, and I came here and filed a report also.
So she's kind of like stalking you a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know why she does stuff like that. She listens to other people, man. And
Neil claimed their relationship had deteriorated to the point where police had even suggested he press charges against her.
And leave. I don't want no problems or anything like that. I believe she's got enough problems to deal with, and there's really no reason to, I mean, I was supposed to don't take out an order of protection against her, and the only reason why I didn't do that was because I was told that's going to pop up when she goes to look for a job, and I didn't want to do that. When the officer went in last month, he asked me if I wanted to press charges, and I asked him, well, what would they do? They said they would arrest her, and I said no, because she's got a daughter in college. She has her 14-year-old also, and I didn't want their lives to be affected by anything like that.
Okay. Gotcha.
I mean, leave them, like I told her, I suggested to her, going to counseling. We went, he went already for 2 sessions, and there's stuff that needs working out, but I don't know, she thinks to listen to other people, or she's playing someone that's telling her stuff. I don't know the truth. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. And she has in fact like been, not maybe aggressive towards you, but to a point of an annoyance where you have been making reports about this annoying behavior that she's accusing you of, in one case, this particular case, of some sort of cheating. And she's accused you of that in the past?
I didn't make the report about the cheating. What I made the report about was when my phone went missing.
Right.
And also when she was following me, I think it was in 2017. Because I had called and I had the operator on the line while she was following me and stuff like that. And she told me after that someone told her to do it.
Someone told her to follow you?
Yeah. I don't know.
She's been like harassing you. Has she made any overt threat?
It is, because the email I sent to her, I told her, if she contacts me anymore, I'm going to consider it harassment, and I'm going to come to the police and file a report. It wasn't working out. I love her to death. I'm not going to like you. I love her, but it's just this thing that I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. So when she was acting aggressive towards you, but she didn't assault you, she didn't have a weapon of her own.
Well, I didn't see anything. I don't know if she does, if she did have something or not. I knew I had given her a knife because she drives Lyft, and she was complaining that when she was driving, there's certain meals that come on to her, and they're like trying to pick her up and stuff like that. So I given her a knife, and I said, well, if anyone tries to do anything, at least you'll have to take your protection. I don't know if she had that on her or not, but.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the idea is, what I understand, because, here she is, and you're giving her that money for what? Because it sounds like you guys broke up. Is that right?
Well, we had broken up before. I told her, I said, you need counseling and stuff, and I agreed to go with her for the counseling. One of the things that I made clear to her was that we were not back to normal. Everything was not back to normal because there were some issues that arose the last time I came and made a report, and I didn't feel quite comfortable at that point going full force back into the relationship. We talked and stuff like that, but I wasn't going over to her house or anything like that. We were not being intimate. I was just working with her with the counselor, to get things back on track, because I felt it was going to be difficult with her accusing me, and still continuing the relationship the way we were having it before.
So what was she going to counseling for?
Basically it was like the accusation of, me cheating on her, having someone, that kind of stuff.
Kind of like trust issues?
Yeah.
Okay, did you guys plan on getting married? Is that?
Oh, we did not have any plans. It did come up, but like I told her, I needed to get to know her better.
Mhm.
I didn't want to move forward with her having trust issues with me because I felt that would have came over into the relationship.
Mhm.
So, like I told her, I just wanted to get to know her better and stuff like that.
Okay.
At this stage, the detective presses Neil on whether Tynesha had ever shown overt violence toward him. Any proof that she had been a physical threat or abusive in the past could potentially support his case.
Has she been violent towards you?
And like I said, it's just in an aggressive way in which she talks, or she will like come in between me and, you know what I'm saying, I guess try to get me angry and upset.
Mhm. But never physical violence yet?
Nothing major. I mean, if it's physical, it'd just be maybe a push or something like that, which I don't really consider.
I mean, you seem like how tall are you?
I'm 6'3".
And how much do you weigh?
I'm about 280.
So, I mean, there was no, how big is she?
She's 6 feet tall, and I think she's like maybe two something also.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she hadn't been violent towards you, no injuries received from her, but there was a push here and there.
No.
But you weren't scared of her or anything like that?
There were times when I felt threatened because, like I said, I didn't know what she would have done.
Mm-hmm.
The first time was when she was following me, and at first I thought it was a joke, really. But then she got out of her car and she came up to my car, and she was telling me, "Well, pull over right now." And I was like, "Whoa, you know, I've never seen you like this before." You know, and I mean, one of the things that attracted me to her was the fact that she told me she was an ordained minister also. And even though she has 4 kids, I just saw her as a lady who went through certain things in life already, have experienced certain things, and this is one person, like they said, who went through the tough and rugged, so therefore I wouldn't have to deal with all of that kind of stuff because she has 4 kids, she's a single woman, you know, she's struggling, and that's one of the things, plus she's an ordained minister, that I really admired about her.
So you guys are still, although you've kind of cooled it a little bit, you're still in a relationship with her, and she's trying to work through her trust issues with you, and you, part of that is that she is visiting this counselor.
Yeah.
And if that can work out, you see a future in the relationship. If not, it seems like it's maybe dwindling out.
Yeah.
Am I just following you?
Yeah.
Just so I'm trying to understand.
Yeah.
But all along, you've made reports to the police, or at least 2. Any other police reports anywhere other than Alpharetta?
No.
Okay.
Although tensions between Neil and Tynesha had been simmering for 2 years, they erupted on March 15th, the day before the shooting. That day, Neil drove to a nearby college where he was pursuing a degree in cybersecurity. Overwhelmed by stress that was affecting his studies, he decided to unenroll from his classes. He told detectives that much of this stress stemmed from his turbulent relationship with Tynesha. Later, he stopped at a Dunkin' Donuts, where Tynesha would come to believe he was meeting another woman.
I go to college. I just had to cancel all my classes yesterday because I can't study. I can't focus. You know, there's just a whole bunch of stuff that was going on. When she was accusing me yesterday of, I did go to Dunkin' Donuts, but I wasn't with anyone. I went down to the college to withdraw from my classes, and I was told there was one counselor there, and I went to Dunkin' Donuts further down on North Point. I got a cup of coffee and 2 donuts, and then I went back to the college.
Whatever, if anything, happened at the Dunkin' Donuts, only Neil knows. But Tynesha was suspicious enough to confront him about it the very next day.
Then eventually you get a text message around 11, and she says, "I know you were with somebody yesterday."
Yeah, she said that she has a picture of me with, and I didn't take it serious because I knew I wasn't with anyone.
At this point, the detective shifts the focus to Tynesha's mental state and the recurring issue in their relationship. real or perceived infidelity.
Does she have any mental issues that?
Not that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the reasons why I told her, I just want to get to know her better, because I know what you've told me, but I'm just going by that really. I never really checked into her history or anything like that.
But you've been with her for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So you learn a little bit more about her, but
Yeah.
she doesn't seem to have any really big mental issues from what you've seen.
She doesn't seem to have any big ones. I both me and the therapist, and I'm saying that because I thought maybe there was something from her past, and the therapist also brought that up the last time we were there, that there might be something from her past that is causing her to feel that I'm cheating or something like that.
So, you still love you love her.
Yes, I do.
And so, was it your intention to break up with her and end this relationship, or was this just kind of another one of those?
Well, after she sent me that text this morning telling me, about this woman, I texted her back and I said, let's just end it. Is it gonna, because we went through the same thing in therapy the last time we went to the therapist. So why bring this back up? The therapist already had told her he don't think that I'm cheating on her or anything like that. So, why bring it back up? what is that going to do for the relationship?
Gotcha. And I think you made this clear, but I need to just directly ask you, is there another woman that...
No, there's no one else. I have not...
Any friends or anything that she could mistake for having a relationship or anything like that?
No.
Which there's nothing illegal about that.
No, there's no one. I'm not seeing anyone. I'm not going to bed with anyone, prank, jump off, whatever. It's nothing like that.
Okay.
It's nothing like that.
Okay.
And Neil was truthful, at least about his trip to Dunkin' Donuts. Security footage from March 15th shows him arriving alone, placing his order, and leaving alone. No mysterious woman appears in the video. While Neil's account of the Dunkin' Donuts visit checks out, the rest of the story is harder to verify. Additional context emerged from 2 other sources during the investigation. A recording of an interview with 2 of Tynesha's daughters suggested that Tynesha had made even more serious accusations against Neil, claims he did not mention during his interrogation.
Okay. And would you mind, I just have a few questions that potentially you could answer, and it won't take very long, but I just want to make sure you're in the right state of mind at the moment to do that. That's okay? Because we're looking at information that's coming in through, his cell phone and stuff, things like that, but your mother may have been accusing him of having porn. Did you ever hear anything about this?
She told me about that because she overheard a conversation where he was actually talking about me as well.
Really?
And she told me not to say anything to him or anything like that. I was eating something and he relayed a message to one of his friends.
Do you know what the message was? Or?
Basically, the way I was eating something, it made him want to do something to me.
Really?
And she told me it, but she was like, don't go confront him, don't do this, don't do that. And I was just like, okay, so I don't know. Like, it made him uncomfortable to actually come in the house because she had asked him about it.
Okay.
Oh, but not only that, I can mention this. Around the time that they both were doing the police report or the police thing, he actually pushed my mama out of the moving car.
Push her out?
And she, literally pushed her out of his moving car. Like, he was driving and he pushed her out of his car. And she was saying that she was trying to get help from drivers around, but they told her that she needed to find a police station or something like that.
Go back to her side of town.
Yeah, and to go back to her side of town. So she ended up making it home, and she said he actually came to the apartment, was kicking on the door, and different things like that.
Of course, both of these incidents are secondhand accounts that Tynesha shared with her children. It's impossible to confirm whether they actually happened. Still, they add another layer to the tension between the couple leading up to the shooting. Additionally, a brief phone call between the detective and Tynesha's therapist, Dr. Epperly, revealed that during sessions with both Tynesha and Neil, there was no indication of any violent tendencies on Neil's part.
Oh my God. Well, I am free to say this. There was absolutely no insinuation of in any way that there was any violent tendencies or ideation on his part. I don't, with the 2 visits, I don't know how much I can help you other than that there was not any. There were just no violent threats or ambiance in the room at all.
While 2 counseling sessions aren't enough to fully reveal the nature of the relationship, they do offer insight from a professional perspective. Now, we arrive at the shooting itself. For the third and final time during the interrogation, Neil provides a detailed blow-by-blow account of what happened when he arrived at the Wells Fargo parking lot in Alpharetta. By this point, the detective and officers already have the full context of their tumultuous relationship, allowing them to better understand the events that unfolded.
Okay. And tell me about today.
I got up, I made breakfast. When I finished that, I was looking at Channel 2 News. Before I did all of that, I said my prayers before I went to the bathroom, brushed my teeth, and made breakfast. Then I checked my phone, checked my emails and stuff like that. And apparently, Tynesha had sent me a text message last night, so I responded to that. And then she had responded to me telling me that the bank closes at 12. And then I responded back to her later on. Then I got this text message with her talking about she got a picture of me and this lady and stuff like that. And I didn't respond to that because I didn't want to initiate anything. So I just basically didn't respond to that. What I did do, like I told you, I responded and I said, calling it quits. I'm still going to meet you and give you the money because I promised you that. And I told her where to meet me and at what time to meet me, and that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you guys had previously arranged for you to give her this money?
Yeah. I mean, we spoke about it during the week. Even yesterday we spoke about it, and I told her, yes, I'll give her the money.
And so then did you just hand her over the money?
Yeah.
And what did you say to her?
I just gave her the money, and she came and she took it, and that's when she went and stood up right in front of the driver's side door, and then she started talking to me about, she's seen what this woman looks like, and she's got pictures of the woman. Yeah.
And what were you saying back to her at that point?
At that point, I didn't say nothing. I had my camera in my hand, and I was just, taping her, and, just standing by my door telling me this stuff. Because, like I said, I didn't want any altercation. I didn't want to get into anything.
And so and that went on for a little bit until you drew your gun?
No, she came forward and snatched the phone out of my hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you drew your gun?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you recall shooting her?
I recall yelling the gun going off, but I don't recall, pulling the trigger or anything like that. I just recall hearing the gun going off. And it's like, I don't know, it didn't feel real to me because I had no intention of shooting her. Yeah.
And why did you pull the gun?
Oh, just to scare her.
Oh.
No, just to scare her.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you thought, and by scaring her, what would that accomplish?
I would have gotten my phone back, my car was on my way, and, that would have been it.
So she had your phone in her hand at that point? So you wanted to scare her into giving your phone back?
Yeah.
Okay. And you had no intentions of shooting her?
No.
The gun just went off, or like?
Yeah.
Or it was an accident?
I don't remember pulling the trigger. It was just an accident.
By now, Neil has recounted the events of that day multiple times, and his body language and tone have remained steady. But the detective is about to drop a revelation that will finally push him to the brink. Despite the condition of Tynesha's body at the scene, Neil still seems to hold on to the belief that she might be alive and that he won't yet face murder charges. At the start of the interrogation, the detective subtly lets him hold on to that hope.
What is the normal procedure like? What happens after this?
Well, after this, so you are under arrest, obviously.
Okay.
We had this incident in the parking lot, and that's what I'm trying to figure out, what exactly happened, Tanisha had been shot, right? She had to go to the hospital, and it doesn't look good for her at this moment, okay? And so, obviously, we're working through that, so, you're under arrest, and depending on what occurs with Tanisha, those are gonna be the charges. Now, so I'm just trying to get your side of it. Do you understand? What other questions would you have?
Well, when will I be able to speak to seeing that I am under arrest?
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't look wrong for her, then what would I be charged with?
Murder.
Okay.
Again, Tynesha passed away almost immediately after the shooting. But by letting Neil believe she still could be alive, the police are able to gather information from him in a more calm, level-headed state. Now, it's time to tell him the truth.
So after you shot her, did you see the wound to her?
I saw when she fell to the ground, and I saw she was bleeding,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in shock because I at first I thought, it was just like acting, but then I saw the blood, and, it kind of like put me in shock somewhat. And then I got my phone, and, I did my best to get the dial at all and called 911,
Mm-hmm. Was your phone still recording when, the video, was it still recording?
I don't know, I would have to check the phone.
But you were recording, she grabbed it while it was recording?
Yeah.
And so it was probably still recording unless she inadvertently hit something on it?
Well, I don't know, because when I dialed 911, if that would have knocked it,
But it could have, right, but
it might be.
It could have been, I guess is the other thing. All right, so you saw her bleeding, she fell to the ground. You tried to get to the phone and a call.
911.
Did you try to do any sort of medical?
Well, I went to her and, so I shook her and she wasn't moving, so I dialed 911.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, she is deceased.
Oh, no.
Okay. I think it was kind of obvious at the scene, though, was it not? That.
I honestly, I really couldn't tell, because like I said, it just, the whole thing, I was just in shock.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first time in the video, the detective puts real pressure on him. They make it clear that his explanations, accidentally shooting someone after pointing a gun directly at their face, sounds implausible.
But you knew that she was shot in the face, right?
Yeah, because I saw the blood coming from her mouth.
Did you think she shot her in the mouth, or where did you shoot her at?
No, I think there was something in her forehead.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that's where, she got shot.
Mm-hmm. Well, how exactly would you shoot her in the forehead by accident?
Say that again.
How would you shoot her in the forehead by accident?
Well, she was almost as tall as me when I pulled my gun out. You know, so like I said, I heard the gun went off. She's almost as tall as I am.
Yeah, but I mean, you had to point it directly at her face then, right?
I just pulled, to be honest with you, I just pulled it out. It was not my intention to shoot her.
And I get that, so, but I mean, you pointed at her face in order to scare her?
I pulled it out, you know, something like this, but it wasn't, I didn't like, consciously like choose any part of her body to point the gun at or anything like that. It was just action.
So when you pull a gun out, that's the appropriate action is to point the gun towards the person. I mean, you couldn't just hold it down like at your side and say, you know, give me my phone back.
Yes, I would say I could have done that, but at the same time, also, you know, I wasn't like thinking, well, okay, I'm gonna pull out the gun and shoot her or anything like that. That was the last thing that, you know, I would have. This was something that was not supposed to happen.
I understand that. It sounds to me though like potentially you had gotten fed up with her antics against you. So here you are at Wells Fargo giving her money, and she's still taking it, you know, still taking it out on you, and that she's, you know, giving you all this anger and accusations, and it made you mad.
I was mad, but I wouldn't say that I was mad to that point where I would shoot her. And in terms of the setup for it, all I wanted to do was just get in my car and move away. That's all I wanted to do. You know, I had no intentions whatsoever of shooting her. I didn't think of a body part to point my gun or anything like that. When she snatched the gun out of my hands, I was shocked. I was surprised because I didn't expect that she would have done that.
You said gun, but phone.
I'm sorry, when she pulled the phone out of my hands, I'm sorry. I was shocked. I wasn't expecting her to do anything like that because I don't know what was the reason. I mean, I don't have nothing on my phone that, you know what I'm saying.
Was it just simply the act of filming her maybe, that you made her mad and she's like, does she know you were filming her?
Yeah.
And so like maybe that made her mad, and she's just like,
I don't know.
I mean, you weren't saying anything to her. I mean, and we'll see this video, but maybe you just don't remember what you were saying to her at the time.
I remember asking her to move out of the way so I can get into my car. In terms of conversation, I don't remember, you know what I'm saying, us having a conversation where we were going into a dialogue or something like that. I do remember her saying that, you know, now she has a picture of what they're going to look like. I don't even know who's the woman she's talking about. I really don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
The detective then calls over an officer who has been observing the interrogation to ask a few questions of his own. As the session nears its end, the officer seizes the moment to challenge Neil, highlighting just how implausible his reasoning for shooting Tynesha really is.
Officer Vance, you've been sitting here the whole time. I'm wondering if you think there's any questions that you might have for this gentleman.
You said you wanted to scare her, but you know a gun is a lethal weapon, correct?
Yeah.
So why would you pull it and then point at her? Because from what you have said, you reached back and you drew your weapon and just pointed straight forward. What does that signal to you?
To me, it was just
if somebody, if I was to draw my gun at you and point straight at your forehead, what do you think my intent is?
I would think, well, it depends on the situation also. If you're asking me to get down on the ground, then I would assume that you want me to get down on the ground.
In the same instance that you and your deceased ex-girlfriend was in, what if she was the one to do the exact same thing to you? What do you think her intent would be? Would she just be doing that period, or would she be doing that to harm you?
I mean, it could be either or. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, it could be either or. And I mean, given the fact that she said to me, "I want my phone back," it could be either or.
And you said you loved this woman, correct?
Yeah.
And you loved her enough to pull a weapon on her to scare her.
Just to scare her.
Whether or not Neil is telling the truth, one fact is undeniable. He is directly responsible for his girlfriend's death. Earlier, we showed footage from Neil's phone capturing his confrontation with Tynesha. What we didn't show was the final clip, when she tries to grab his phone and the audio records the moment she is shot. It's one last devastating piece of evidence that seals the case.
Donuts at the school, hugging and kissing on her, right?
Move away from my car, Tynesha.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Bastard. Cheat mother. Shoot!
Give me my phone.
The detective already has the evidence he needs. But in the closing moments of the interrogation, he asks Neil one final question. Does he want to leave a message for Tynesha's children? For the first time during the session, Neil completely breaks down.
All right, well, one other question before we take some pictures here now. I am going to be talking to her family here. Is there any message you want me to pass on to them?
Tell them I'm sorry. This was an accident. This was not supposed to.
Okay.
This was not supposed to happen.
I understand.
In February of 2025, nearly 6 years after Tynesha Evans' death, Neil Ennis was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Fulton County court records show that Neil and his legal team pled guilty to murder in possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. He received 20 years for Tynesha's murder, plus an additional 5 for the firearm charge. Tynesha Evans' life ended senselessly on the pavement of a bank parking lot, a tragic consequence of a relationship gone wrong. Her adult children, Audrey, Sean, Sharadiant, and Shamika Turner, have been open about the pain their mother's murder has caused them. I hear that there's remorse, Shamika told WSB TV Channel 2, but forgiveness is not something I can give, because I grew up without a mom. I graduated high school without a mom. There are so many milestones I had to face without her. The missed milestones and memories were only part of the family struggle. After Tynesha's death, her children nearly faced eviction from their family home in 2019. They had to launch a GoFundMe to cover transportation and funeral expenses to bury their mother in her home state of Wisconsin. Help came from unexpected places. Actor and filmmaker Tyler Perry heard their story, reached out to Tynesha's children, arranged transport for their mother's body, and even covered their college tuition.
Tyler Perry stepping up to make sure a single mother's children will be taken care of after she was killed by gun violence.
Her death leaving her grieving children in Georgia without money for school and on the verge of eviction. Tyler Perry heard their story and decided to pay for them to continue their education and to transport Evans' body home to Wisconsin to be.
We had a moment where we asked him, "How do you get past it?" Audrey said. Because he lost his mom as well. How do you get past it? What does it look like on the other side? He told us you don't really get past it. It's something you live with every day. All you can do is be their legacy. It's clear that Tynesha and Neil Ennis had a troubled, broken relationship. But whether the shooting was an intimidation tactic gone wrong, as Neil claimed, or a deliberate act fueled by years of anger and frustration, the outcome is the same. A woman lost her life far too soon, and a young family was left to endure the trauma caused by his actions.